Well. Look who it is. You're probably wondering, who is this man? Why is he wearing a shirt and some shorts? And what's he doing here on my screen? Well, everybody, my name's Zain, and I'm the CEO of Dymacorp. Who's Dymacorp? It's the company you're working for. We're the world's largest extractor of diamonds in the world. We're also Forbes' #1 ranked company in worker satisfaction for 4 years running now. So, why are you here? You're here because we're putting you through this intensive training session to tell you all about the work-related musculoskeletal injuries that you may come across and how you can prevent them. And if you do get them, what services we have on offer for you. We do take this training very seriously, which is why after this, you're going to be working one-on-one with an ergonomist to make sure you're fitted for your workstation. So, what are WRMDs? WRMDs are a group of muscular disorders that can happen in muscles, tendons, and nerves. They have a bunch of different names from all over the world, but they're essentially any injury that happens due to working. So, what are some of the risk factors? Awkward body position and posture. So if you're typing on a computer and you're sitting like this, repetition of small movements. So if you're constantly just jerking your wrist one way or grabbing a mouse or triggering your clicker on your mouse, force on small body parts. You can't be doing a lot of lifting with your pinkies. That's impossible. Not recovering. You're going home and working out again. You're minor. This is already a workout. You don't need to work out that much. Cold, vibrations, heat, these are all things that put you at risk, but we will make sure to protect you from that because through this training session, you'll get all the necessary information you need. So, how are you going to protect yourself? First things first, here at Dymacorp, we ensure that you get breaks. You always get your breaks between cycles. You're a minor and you and your buddies are just going at it. You take a break every 5 to 10 because studies have shown taking breaks decreases the chance of injuries. On top of that, enjoy a complimentary spa. We're a multi-billion company. We will take care of you. Don't worry about it. Contact HR and we will book you a spa session and you'll get your massage so you can de-stress and relax and get back to work with even more satisfaction. So, let's go through some of the things that can happen. What's a muscle? If you don't know what a muscle is, I'm sorry, but I'll give you a quick rundown. Muscles are fibers that are able to stretch and contract in order to move your body parts. It's pretty basic information here, people. You can strain your muscles if you do constant repeated movements because it's unable to release all the waste product that's made. And if you can tell by getting a muscle injury if you're experiencing any pain or aching while you're working. So, some of the things that you will do here at this company that put you at risk. For example, lifting. You're going to be lifting a lot of things, whether you're an office worker lifting boxes or whether you're a minor that's lifting one load from another. Lifting, you got to make sure you're using the proper form. So you want your back straight and you always want to be bending the legs and bending your knees in order to lift with your back straight, ensuring that you're not arching your back. Same thing goes for pulling. The general rule of thumb is you want your back straight. As you pull, bring something towards you while pulling your arch back and bring your chest forward. When you push, same thing. Back straight and push. Same thing goes when you carry. You don't want to be arching your back forward or backward too much. So just make sure you balance it out with your arms. Alright, so tendons. What tendons could you what are tendons? Tendons connect the muscles to the bone. And they're basically just a bunch of small fibers which allow for this contraction to happen. If you stretch or contract too much, you can injure the tendons by getting tendinosis, which is inflammation. And you can tell that this is happening if, for example, as you move, you hear some sound, or if your skin is red and hot to touch. So, things that you can get here while working at Dymacorp that you need to look out for. Trigger finger. So trigger finger is the thickening of your tendon sheath that happens from repeated flexion on any of your fingers, and this causes locking. You got to make sure you're protecting yourself. If you're using a mic, you need to put that, if you're using a mouse, you need to put that mouse down and make sure you're stretching, and also potentially going home and putting some ice and heat on it. Decoy-Reid syndrome and intersection syndrome are two that can happen on your thumb, and they all come from either excessive thumb use or wrist flexion and extension. So if you are repeatedly doing these movements, ensure that you are taking breaks every 10 minutes in order to stretch it out, as well as go home and make sure you're heating and cooling it, as well as just letting it relax. Alright, what about nerves? What are the nerves? Nerves are the reason that I'm able to do this right now. They're just firing signals left, right, and center. And how could you possibly injure a nerve? Nerves get injured through compression. So if you have a nerve gets compressed, it's not a good time. You're going to start getting tingly feelings, you're gonna lose sensations, you might become very weak, and those are just things that you always want to be avoiding, and that will prevent you from doing your work, and nobody wants that. So, some things that can happen, for example, carpal tunnel syndrome. Carpal tunnel syndrome happens right in the wrist, right before the wrist in the carpal tunnel. And it happens from excessive compression. So let's say you're an office worker and you're just sitting here and your wrists are pushed against the table for 8 hours a day. You will eventually develop symptoms on the median nerve. So you're going to start getting tingling through basically your gun fingers, which are these three. And it's also going to reduce blood supply, which is going to hurt. Same thing with thoracic outlet syndrome. It's the same concept as carpal tunnel, where between your neck and your shoulder, your brachial plexus is getting injured because you're putting your arm up and down too much without enough stretch or any exercise. So in order to prevent these, we have an ergonomist who will fit you with a carpal tunnel protector, as well as for thoracic outlet syndrome, we will have an ergonomist who walks around and ensures that everybody has proper form while practicing this. And we're also going to give you the adequate rest and breaks because we overhire in order so you don't get injured. So, what do you do if you're experiencing pain? Stop whatever you're doing. Go to the manager and report it. We want to take care of you. We have 3 doctors on every single site that come in 3 times a week, and they will assess any injuries. So you don't even have to leave the workplace to go in to get assessed. And we're also hiring ergonomists to ensure that you're not doing anything wrong and to ensure that we're watching your form and what you can change and do a proper Rula and Reba assessment in order to get you on the right track. So, will your job be affected by this? Of course not. We're a multi-billion-dollar company. No one's gonna be affected. If you get hurt, we have health insurance. We will cover whatever you need to do in order to get back, and we will give you pay until the doctor gives us the medical green light and tells us you're good to come back to work. On top of that, you have an extra 30 minutes for lunch. Why don't you go see your physiotherapist that's on site who can help you while you're at work? You don't even have to leave here. Think about the convenience. We are training you to be the best that you can be, and we want you to experience the best worker experience in the entire world. So, just to summarize, WMSDs are usually cumulative, so they come from repeated exposure of a single movement. They're also more susceptible to any movement that happens in the limbs or in the lower back, and they're especially prevalent in people who are around your age, whether it be in that middle age group. So between 35 and 45, you are at most risk, and we want to make sure that you are being taken care of because you have a beautiful life to live ahead of you. And we will take every absolute measure. That is my guarantee as CEO of this company. And every single employee has to go through a revision of this training every 3 years in order to make sure everybody's safe. Thank you very much. I really hope you enjoy your worker experience here at DynaCorp. And if you need anything, my name is on this presentation. Direct contact me by email. I will answer them personally.